Bang! Neevesknives. I'm Jared, my lovely wife Kara in the background somewhere. And I know it's Metal Complex's huge 50,000 sub giveaway. I'm sure a lot of people might not be in here tonight, but you know, gotta keep on moving. He told me I don't know, like a week ago, he made sure he let me know that he was going live tonight at this time so that he could sabotage me. So we know, really why he's doing it right now. Pure sabotage. But that's okay. We're going to keep on kicking. I know a lot of you guys will probably be jumping back and forth. If you're not just in there, but we still got a pretty decent show tonight. I got a bunch of things I want to talk about. What's up, Monster? Ed, Russ, Breeze. I'm guessing that's Neba Cloud. The Kaisers, guys. The the Stormtrooper will be available in 3 days on May 4th. Now, if you want a discount, I have a discount code in the description of most of my videos. Obviously, this is a live, so it's not in this one, but any of my other videos, there's a discount code. And this one is available right now, and not from me, but 30% discount if you buy two. That's a hell of a deal because they're only $69. Then my card is really good. And I'll tell you what, man, this thing is a world different, in my opinion, than the other one. The old one, the lighter one. Everybody wants to remind me how to talk. Why don't they do that to anybody else? Like anybody with an accent, they could call any word what they want. But Neevesknives comes in here and says beg letter, and everybody goes crazy. It's beg lighter, motherfucker. I know. Anyways, but the bearings, man, these new bearings are so smooth and makes this thing, I mean, insanely snappy. the Microtech SOCOM Elite, I talk about that all the time. Like when you go to use the thumb studs and you put pressure on the thumb studs, it doesn't take much. It's almost like you just break that detent and that thing just flies. That's the way this is. I mean, it's hard to fail this on thumb studs. Like that was me trying to fail it. It's crazy. The Stormtrooper is also awesome, but it's not available yet, but it will be in a couple days. Limited though, limited. So if you do want to get a special one, and it is good. Like I wouldn't be recommending it either one of these without doing a review first if I didn't think they were awesome. Because I know I haven't done a review on them. I have done a review on the Feist, but not this version. But I definitely recommend it. Highly recommend it. Has a lot of great things on it. So let's get into this. Oh, also, Mike Emler. I sent him a bunch of knives. Go check out his channel, sub to his channel. If one of the moderators could please link his channel, go sub to his channel. He just did an unboxing on the 12 knives I sent him. But awesome channel. He's very, very knowledgeable on a lot of things. We don't agree on everything knife related, but we both know that. And as men, we're both okay with that, but we still recommend each other because we agree that people should have multiple sources of the same thing from a different perspective. And I totally agree, whether they agree with me or not. And that's what's awesome. It's okay, Jared. The way you talk is part of why we enjoy the channel. You can never get away from the grammar pronunciation police. I know, man. I know. Uh, yeah, it's hilarious. I can't never get away. So, I'll just start off by talking about this old Lamech because I did sharpen it already. I know I just got it and I just did the unboxing on it. Beautiful, beautiful old Lamech whippersnapper. They love it when I say that too. Whippersnapper, with the Mokutai. So I want to speak on it just about the steel, Lamech Knives steel. So I've done Lamech's 3 or 4 times now, all being either 20 CV, M390, one of the two. Anyways, I think they do a pretty decent heat treat on their M390 or 20 CV. Now, I'm not saying it's, they knocked it out of the park with the HRC. I'm not saying that. But I've polished a couple of them, and they seem to take a decent polish. This one I brought up to a mirror polish, and then I brought it back down just a little bit. to give it just a little bit more bite. Now, obviously, if I lowered it down to 1200 grit, because I think I got it right now between like 2500 and 4000 grit. If I brought it down to 1200 grit, yes, it would have more bite. For a polished edge, though, it's pretty damn good. When an M390 is the kind of steel that it's hit or miss with a polished edge. Sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's not so great. It just kind of depends on the company and their HRC and their heat treat. Now, hand ground blades, edges, or what's that called? Like a hand done satin finish. Anytime you get anything hand done and a machine didn't do it, you're going to get inconsistencies. And same thing like with this one bevel on one side compared to the other, they are very close. And I never really hold it against any company if it's a hand satin or hand ground blade, because they get it so damn close. It's like whoever did that's a master, right? Because in order to get it that close, I mean, you'd have to be a master, and that's the way it is. So, and sharpening it, I noticed like one part of the bevel was a little thicker than the other side, not by much, and it's really not that big of a deal. But just know, anytime you get a hand satin finish or a hand ground blade, there are going to be little inconsistencies that are going to be different from the machine ground ones, because it's a human doing it. So, it's just stuff you have to realize. Now, some people like to get the hand ground satin finishes because it's going to go the opposite direction. A machine ground finish will always go up and down the blade. Hand ground goes usually this way. All right. Unless if it's like, if it's like actually like a hollow grind or something like that. But just talking about the finish, like a satin finish. A satin finish is going to go straight up and down if it's a machine. And if it's hand ground, it's going to go back and forth like that. And some people like the hand ground direction. You can see it. And anybody who really knows anything knows when they see it that that's what that is. Hey, y'all. Stupid YouTube didn't tell me alert he was live. Oh man, they're shadow banning me. I'm shadow banned. Yeah, sometimes I get that too. Where they don't really tell me. And sometimes what it does is it'll wait like a little bit and then tell me. I think it's weird when they give me a notification on a video that's been up for like a week and then they notify me as if it just went up. Okay, so a little topic. There's a bunch of things I want to talk about. This was like maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago or so. Anyways, I think it was Work Sharp that did it, and they were like talking about how often you should sharpen your knives. Well, the thing is that's not really an easy answer to say, because the question should be, well, what steel is it? How often do you use it? What kind of knife is it? So on and so forth. So I was trying to think of the answer myself with that. And they said about every 2 months. And I think that's a pretty decent answer, but I think the question should be is what steel do you have? And then when you really get deep, what steel should you have? Right? So what steel would be good for you? I think in a month's time, if you only do 50 cuts a month, only 50 cuts in a month, then you probably don't need anything but a budget steel, because most budget steels will do at least 50 cuts before you need to sharpen it. And after 50 cuts, you can still hone and strop your edge. So you'll still get 2 months out of it. And I'm trying to narrow it down to say if you only sharpened every 2 to 3 months. Now, if you use your knife, like cutting boxes open, cutting tape, or anything like that, 100 times in a month, then I would say you should have a mid-grade steel, because most mid-grade steels will get more than 100 cuts for sure, but you can still hone it and strop it, etc. So that means you'll get a good 2-3 months out of it before you'll have to sharpen it. And then if you're doing 300 cuts in a month, and I know nobody really counts their cuts, but you kind of know, like, do I use my knife once a day, twice a day, 5 times a day, all day, whatever? And in that case, then you should probably go towards more of a super steel. or I guess it depends on what you're using your knives on, but it's because then you can get away with sharpening your knife every 2 to 3 months as long as you're honing and stropping. Now, how could you get away with almost never sharpening your knife? I mean, obviously, eventually you do, is have a big fucking collection. If you got a big knife collection, you can use your knives every day and just switch it out. And then, what do you use that knife once every couple weeks, once every week? It'll last a long damn time before you'll ever have to sharpen it. I know that's what I do. I still find myself having to sharpen some edges. Like I already put a nice edge on this bag lighter, the N690. And somebody asked me last week how N690 sharpens. Well, one sharpens really good. To me, it always does good between 6 and 1200 grit. This one did really good all the way up to 5000 grit, but I found a lot of times they don't. Not a lot of times, I guess some of the time. So the N690 from Kaiser seems like it's pretty damn good. It's pretty sticky. I know me, the number is 1 to 3 cuts a day. See, Q1 Fiend knows what's up. I'm going to bring that up. I know for me, the number is 1 to 3 cuts a day. I sharpen them when they won't cut arm hair. Every few months sounds about right. Yeah. And, like you do the arm hair thing. Some people want like that level of sharpness, right? They want to make sure, like, it better shave hair. Other people, they don't need it that sharp or they don't care. So they'll just do paper cut, as long as it'll cut paper, sharp enough for me because that means it'll cut tape, etc. But the little sheepdog, the non-flipper, I gotta sharpen that one, man. I thought it was way sharper the other day. I went to open up a package, man. It's like it won't cut nothing, but it'll cut through paper just fine. And that's where you get that bite, like where, yeah, the angle's good, the apex is good, so it'll cut through paper just fine. But it seems like it won't cut nothing else. Isn't that weird that it'll shave right through paper, but it won't cut nothing else? That's where the bite comes in. And if you guys didn't see that one video where I showed what I'm talking about when I talk about bite, I showed it in the beginning of the video, and then more towards the end of the video, I went deeper into the subject on the best tech reticulin video. Jared White says, I definitely entered MC's giveaway, but hanging out in here. I'll go back and watch it. Was tuned into there when I got notifications. Neevesknives live. Felt like I was cheating on Neves. That's awesome, man. Thank you for coming back. I didn't enter it. I don't enter those things anymore because I feel like I don't deserve that. Like for the other channels to do giveaways, that's not for me, right? I have a channel, so it would be not right for me to win something that could go to you guys. A lot of the community supports me already, and I know you guys don't get those opportunities like some of the channels do, like from the companies and people. So I'll never enter that, but I was curious how it worked. If you have to enter and then you have to be there in the live to hear your name, or can you just go watch it later? Like, I have no idea how it works. I know you have to be there. I don't know. She's not positive. Huh. Oh, okay. Hey, Jared, glad to be here. I've been binging your videos. Awesome, Meg. Well, thank you. That's awesome. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're here. I didn't enter either. I love what MC does, but his lives aren't as fun as they used to be. It happens, man. It happens. I think that's why I like to do these things where all week, or at least in between the lives, I come up with things I want to talk about rather than make you guys run the live. I love it when you guys ask questions. I love talking about whatever you guys want to talk about. And if you absolutely can't get through to me because I'm fucking rattling off, just try to write my name or highlight my name so that I see it. Also, You can always donate some money. I'll see it then. I'm just joking. But you know, say my show my name and I'll see it. Um, I love how you always give shout outs to your wife. Love that she is a gamer and a knife lover too. Yeah, always gotta shout the wife out. Somebody said this. This is so funny. It made me think of that. And shout out to him, El Chapo Knives on Instagram. Definitely sub to his channel, El Chapo Knives. He said to me, he asked me what my favorite knife was in my collection. Like, what's your all time favorite? So, man, it's a tough one. I can't even answer that. I just can't. Like, I have so many questions if somebody asks me that. You know, for what? What am I doing? Where am I going? What's the situation? And he said, if you can pick one woman for the rest of your life, then you can pick a knife. I thought that was hilarious. If you can pick only one woman for the rest of your life, you can pick one knife. And I feel like he's so right about that. Hey, Meg, thank you. Thank you so much. That's awesome. I appreciate that. That's amazing. Thank you. Very sweet of you. Thank you so much. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious. When I read that, I was cracking up. Cracking up. So this isn't about knives, but I was watching this video and this guy was doing like one of those I don't know what you'd call it, like where he's on stage and there's a whole bunch of people in the audience, kind of like what you would see from Tesla, um, or whatever the guy's name is. I can't even think of his name, but like when he brought out the Tesla truck and he was on stage, kind of like a scene like that, where he's on a big stage. There's a screen behind him. So when he's talking, you're seeing a visual, and he's talking, saying that we don't need nuclear weapons anymore because we have this. Yeah, Elon Musk, like kind of like what Elon Musk does in a theater, like when he's on stage. So when this guy's talking, and it's not Elon Musk, it's some other guy, when he's talking, you see a giant plane fly behind him, and the back gate of the plane goes down, and all these crazy swarms of little tiny drones fly out by the millions. Then he's standing there and he goes like this, and a little drone comes up and lands in his hand. Okay, so then he's standing there with his hand. It's sitting in his hand, and he's saying how it has facial recognition, just like your phone, how it has location and all this stuff. And then he says, but it also has so much explosive on it. And then he grabs it and he whips it. And when he whips it, it goes and then comes back. And then there's a statue with the dots, like for facial recognition. The thing flies right over to it immediately after he whips it in the air, like like it's seen it like almost immediately, like it scanned the entire audience, and he said it knows who everybody is because of facial recognition. So it flew right over to it, hit the thing right in the head, bow, and blew up. So basically, he was saying they could take out an entire city of people with these and not take out one innocent person. They could literally take out anybody they want without taking out one person they don't want. Jay, thank you, man. Thank you. Hey, Jared, love watching your videos. What are your thoughts on the Damascus used by Chris Reeves knives? Thank you, man. That's awesome. I hate that you donated and you got that question because I honestly don't know much about it. I really don't. You're talking Chris Reeve knives. CRK. I've never had it. I don't know about it. I don't even know what they make it out of. I honestly don't know. And I hate that you donated and I don't know. So I'm hoping if somebody else in here can back me up, they can answer that question. I don't even know what they use for it or anything. I'm guessing it's some sort of S35 VN, but I don't know. How about this? Chris Reeves Knives S35 VN. I think it's good. I like their S35 VN. And if it's made with that, which I don't know if it is, it's good. It's good steel. It doesn't do good at a high grit, in my opinion. I've polished some of it before for people a few times, and it looks good, and it's still very sharp. Don't get me wrong. It'll shave hair and all that, but it doesn't have the level of bite that you want from a knife that you're going to be working with. If you just want it for show, it looks great, and it's sharp. It'll do whatever you want. But it's not going to be anything for performance. If you want to get performance out of that steel, you're going to want it between like 600 and 1,000 grit, and then it'll have really good cutting performance. But that's not just Chris Reeve knives. That's S35VN for the most part. Um, Now their heat treat is really good on theirs, and I'm excited that they're going to start using their S45VN because I think I might like that a little bit better than S35VN. But but yeah, I man, I wish I knew more about their Damascus. But yeah, this little tiny drone though, can you imagine? That means they could just let them all out the back of a plane. They can swarm an entire city, locate exactly who they want, and just take them out. And say if the kid's standing next to them, doesn't matter because like when it hit that thing in the head, it literally was almost like a gunshot. Like it has explosives on it, but when you seen what it did, it just left a hole right in the head. So even if somebody innocent was sitting next to them, wouldn't affect them at all. It would have looked like a giant bug flew up and smashed his head. That's crazy. How you guys like that coffee cup? Oh, hey, bud. Thank you. Nebuchadnezzar, thank you, man. You need Damascus knives in your collection. I got some Damascus. I just don't have any Chris Reeve knives. I got one or two Damascuses. I thought I had one sitting right here. I don't know where. Oh, wait. Is it in my. I got one on me. Beat that. I got one in my pocket. In my pocket. And this Damascus, I think is pretty good. I think the problem is that they don't give enough information. And this is not just Civivi, this is a lot of companies. They'll say, like, okay, this knife is S35VN, but our Damascus version is Damascus. Damascus isn't a steel, it's a process. So you're not saying shit when you tell me it's Damascus. Like, if like that custom knife I did, that was Damascus, but it literally tells you the core of it. That's going to be the most important part. Yes, this is the Civivi pintail. Sorry, the Civivi pintail. And it normally comes in S35VN, and there's different handle materials, wood. This one's the fake carbon fiber, and I think they have my Carter G10. But their Damascus just says Damascus. That's not a steel. That's a process. So the question is, what is the Damascus made out of it? I heard that it was S35VN, but all their other Damascus was a 9CR. So is this still just a 9CR Damascus? I don't know. I think it's a little bit better. I think it's their made from some S35VN and some other stainless steels, because it is a stainless Damascus. They tell you that. But when you read that on knife companies things, question what steel it is, because Damascus is not a steel. It is a process. It's a process where they take 2 to 3 different kinds of steels and they mix it basically. And that's why you get all the different lines and stuff, because when they etch it, the colors etch at a different rate or whatever, or different darkness. Hey, Knife Sarge, definitely go sub to Knife Sergeant's channel. What's up, bud? Definitely go sub to Knife Sergeant's channel. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, okay, this one's a story. I'll save that over later because it's kind of juicy. Well, not about juicy, but it's kind of crazy. Um, oh, I was going to talk about spider coes using bearings. Right? We don't really how many. I can't even think of any spider coes that use bearings except for the smock. Does the Kapara run on bearings? Maybe the Kapara. But I was trying to think of companies that use. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust this chair. In America, or American companies that use bearings, or that only use washers, and why they don't test the waters on more bearings, like Spyderco. The Mantra 2. Oh, hey, the Mantra 2 is bearings. Okay. I've never tried that one. I'm glad you said that because I'd like to see the Subvert. Okay. The Subvert and Nirvana are both on bearings. I did not know that. Thank you, Lindy Lou. I did not know that. Maybe I'm the dumbass in this. I did not know that. But I was gonna say I'd like to see them use more bearings, but it sounds like I'm just a dumbass and I don't realize that they do it all the time, and I just didn't know. Thank you, Fiend. Here is Knife Sergeant's link to his channel. Definitely go sub to his channel. But where was I going with that? I think there was a reason why. Yeah, but there was something else though. Because sometimes when I write down what I want to talk about, it's only a sentence, and I got to remember what the fuck I was gonna say. But anyways, yeah, I was wanting to know why they're not using more bearings. You think they would start because some folders. I understand folders are not all of them, but a lot of them are better off with washers, right? But ceramic bearings do really good, really, really good. And being ceramic, they do way better than steel bearings, like far better. I remember somebody did a test. They took phosphor bronze washers, they took the Teflon washers, steel bearings and ceramic bearings, and they dunked them, all of them, under mud and guck, and just it was like a big bin full of shit. They dunked them all. And you know what did the best? Teflon washers, then it was ceramic bearings, then it was the phosphor bronze, if I remember correctly. And then steel bearings was last. Isn't that crazy? I never would have thought that ceramic bearings did better. Now, I think it was a little gritty, a little bit, but it's like it cleaned out really quick, it seemed like. But Teflon, yeah, Teflon does the best. It's self-lubricating and it's compressed so tight in there, nothing can really get in there. And since it's self-lubricating, it kind of pushes the junk away. Now, phosphor bronze does the same thing. It does the same thing. But ceramic bearings, I don't know. I think that they hold lubrication or push. I don't know. So people say different things. I've heard that they're self-lubricating, and I've heard people say no, they're not. They just they basically deflect lubrication or something like that. Like they push it away. So there's so many different things. But what I say is that ceramic bearings are just really good. They make incredible, incredible action. And if your tolerances are really good, and like I understand if you're in the dirt every day, all day, then yeah, get something that's better for you in the dirt. But as a regular fucking EDC knife that you carry in your pocket all day, every day, unless if you're walking around with dirt in your pockets. What are you doing? Yeah. But yeah, I personally like bearings a little bit better than phosphor bronze. Now that doesn't mean I don't like phosphor bronze but it seems like some companies you have to get it from companies that do it really good. Otherwise, they're just not smooth. Like they're just not. Now some companies like these guys really smooth, but you're paying a lot more. Even Spyderco does a really good job. But you'd think they'd just make a system that captures bearings in a fucking such a tight squeeze and make it to where dirt can't get in there, because it makes action so much better. There's something extremely satisfying about a washer knife that drops shut, though. Absolutely. I 1,000,000% agree. Some of the best action I've ever felt on a knife was from phosphor bronze and Teflon mixed. Meaning like there was one layer of phosphor bronze and one layer of Teflon, they rubbed together. I mean, I'm talking about like insanely smooth. And then some of the knives that we know of that are very, very smooth, Rocksteads, Chris Reeve knives, they're all on phosphor bronze. But some of the other companies, like companies that just can't do it to that level of precision, they're not as good. They're usually tight and slow, and they're not fall shutty or drop shutty, and they never break into be. Jared White says, I ordered a Workshop Precision Adjustable since Amazon finally got them back in stock. Also ordered 2 of the 3D printed, sliders and 4 of the lapping film bundles. How long you getting out of films? I don't use the films, but I would imagine only a few times. Because it's like, think about sandpaper. Like when you use sandpaper, you're going to be able to use it for that job. And if you want to save it, you can and use it for like scraps on another job. But once you use sandpaper, there's not much, it's not like you can just keep reusing it. It's going to work for that job. Now, I'm not saying you can't use it a couple times or a few times, but you're going to wear it out pretty quick. Now, it probably also depends on the steel, the grind. If you're doing, say, a big ass Medford, then it's probably only going to get one time. If you're doing something like a Civivi, it's probably going to get a few times out of it. So I think it just depends on how thick the grind is, how much steel you're removing, what kind of steel. So this, I don't even want to say why I came up with this, but the other day, what's up, Daily Carry Solutions? Definitely go sub to his channel here, or channel 2. 50 people here, 26 likes. Something is wrong in here. Everybody's mad, man. Everybody's pissed off at me because I'm not doing a 50,000 sub giveaway like Metal Complex. I'm just joking. What's up, Pants? Lavender Pants is in here. What's up, bud? Teal S90 Para 3. I like the Para 3. I think it's dope. I like S90V. If that's what we're talking about, S90V. S90V is a damn good steel. I love that steel. Fucking shit gets super sharp too. Great edge retention. Yeah, hit that like button if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button. I really appreciate it. And if not, give me a dislike. And if you don't want to tell me, you don't have to. But it'd be nice if you tell me why. Mike Gemler's in here. Carlos, did you get a sea snake? Oh yeah, I remember where I was going. So I was thinking the other day, and I was thinking about like a famous person, right? Like if you had the opportunity to talk to a famous person, and you were going to gift them a knife because they're famous, maybe because they're going to advertise your channel or just something, right? Or just because you're a cool guy and you're like, I'm a knife guy. I got to give this famous person a knife. It's got to be USA made though. What knife are you giving them? A USA made knife because maybe they're a USA, fan. What knife you giving them? And wait, it's got to be a flipper. I see Russ. It's got to be a flipper because they're not necessarily not a knife guy, but they're not a buck 110. You can't give them a buck 110. That's not a flipper for one. But in my opinion, you're trying to capture them, right? And anybody who's not like a real knife guy, meaning they like knives, but they don't buy a knife every month, right? They might have a pocket knife, and that's the pocket knife they're going to have until it goes out. But you're wanting them to feel good quality. Now, most people in that category like a flipper because the action, right? Like I remember, a long time ago too. It had to be a flipper because the flipper action, like it's almost like an auto or something, But what would it be? ProTech Malibu. Great answer. That is a good answer. We got the Hinger XM 3-inch. I want to talk about that knife here in a second from what Nick Shabazz said. We'll talk about that in a second. Russ says ZT0562. You don't think that's a little too big? Maybe, because the next question is what's the perfect size? But I like these answers though. I think a ZT might be a good answer because they have such good flipper tab action, right? Such good flipper tab action. They are USA made. The only downfall that I see is they're not going to cut very good. Some of them do, but uh, to me, ZT needs to work on their grinds. Their grinds are awfully fucking thick for a pocket knife. I understand they're big dogs, but for like the old 450 and shit like that, man, you don't need that thick of a grind. Like, what are we talking about? It gives you bad geometry. And hey, Benjamin, I missed it. Thanks, man. Get that bell really going for you guys. You guys be holding your ears. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm loving the Elementum button lock. Depends on the actor. So the reason why I was thinking about it, and I'll just tell you guys why. I'm not gonna tell you who, but I'll tell you why. You guys might judge me if I told you. So somebody that's somewhat famous, you guys might not know who he is, but he's pretty famous. Musician, and he was on a live. He did a live Instagram thing the other day, and he was letting people come on, and he was talking to them. And I thought about possibly, say, "Hey, I'll go on with you." And I didn't do it, but I remember thinking that if I did go on, I would have to shout out the YouTube channel and I'd have to send him a knife, right? I couldn't not be in this situation, not be like, hey, bud, send me your P.O. box. I want to send you something. I couldn't, there's no way I could do that. But then I started thinking about this is a guy who loves USA, right? He even has products that are USA products that he sells, like hats that are all USA made and shit like that. So I knew it would have to be a USA made knife. And I know he likes knives, but I don't know like pocket knives like that he has or anything like that, but I do know he likes knives. But I remember thinking about like, man, what fucking flipper from the USA could I fucking give him if I was in that position, even though it's a hypothetical position, right? I'm not in the position, but it's hypothetical. But it just made me think of it like, man, I couldn't think of nothing. And like Lacey said, I thought of ZT, but then I thought about like, man, I'd hate for him to like love the action, right? He'd love the action, but then go to use it. But man, this thing cuts like shit. That's what I thought about. Um, but ZT would probably be the best bet. I thought people were gonna say the Kershaw bare knuckle. That wouldn't be a bad one. Um, I know pretty much all of Aerosmith is in the knives. Really? That's awesome. I know there's a few people like there's even damn it, who was it? What the hell's his name? That dude with tattoos all over his face. He's a musician, rapper and singer. Post Malone. Post Malone always has a knife in his pocket. I seen him a few times. I found out it was a Microtech. Badass. Which us we notice shit like that, right? Like you'll see an actor and you'll see their pocket. You're like, what is that? You'll like pause, slowly let it go through, staring at it. What kind of clip is that? Is that a Microtech clip? No fucking way. Harrison Ford is a Shiro fanboy. Constantly goes to recon one in Encino. Wow. No shit. Post is into guns too. Yes. Yes, he is. He is. Yep. Definitely. Send a green green Z killer from Nick Shabazz. Oh yeah, Nick Shabazz. Wait, hold on a second. So bummed that Zach Brown sold something grand. I know. Now I'm wondering, are they still gonna do the same donation thing that they were doing to the vets? The wounded soldiers or whatever. I think it was to wounded soldiers. Are they still gonna donate that? Or is it now since it's somebody else, it's up to them? I'm guessing that's the way it's gonna be. Harrison also liked to crash. Oh, dude, the porn star Peter North showed up in OCD for EDC stream. We were skeptical, but by the end of it, he seemed convincing. I mean, what an odd person to impersonate, anyways. Yeah, I guess you wouldn't want to do that, right? Impersonate some porn star and not really be him. Well, yeah, that's what I meant. Like they want a knife, but they're not into them. That's what I was kind of going to. Like they they'd be a person that would like the knife, they would use the knife, they would carry the knife, but they're not really into them. So you're trying to capture them and steal them. One is the first part, the flip, right? The start of it all. I know that this person that I'm talking about would be into the action. Like, yeah. So porn stars like knives, Lavender says. I think a lot more people than you realize like knives. I think there's a lot of people out there that actually carry a pocket knife and don't even know there's a community. They wouldn't look for a community because they don't know it's there. And two, if they did, they would probably be involved. But to them, it's like it's just a pocket knife. Everybody carries a pocket knife. Who gives a fuck, right? But they do like them, right? And if they knew that there was other people out there that liked them so much that they built a community with them, they'd be in there. That's why I think this community is just getting bigger and bigger every year. I know it is. I mean, obviously, look at some of the subs like from Nick Shabazz. Speaking about Nick Shabazz, I don't have the knife right here. Oh, yeah, it's right here. He did a review on the Hinder XM18 3-inch. I thought it was right fucking here. What is going on? Anyways, he did the Hinder XM18 3-inch. I got Lacey's, but he was talking about it having the death lock. And if you don't know what death lock is, death lock's where you put pressure on the lock bar when you go to flick it, and it's a thumb stud flicker. I got it right here somewhere. What the shit? Oh, here it is. So he was doing it, and he was talking about how bad the death lock is. And it does have death lock. It does. But it's such an easily avoided death lock that I can't imagine really being upset at that or bitching about that. I understand it does have it, and if you do put pressure, yes, it kind of locks you out. But you get used to just keeping your thumb out of your finger out of the way. So to me, I couldn't label that a bad thing on this knife because man, the detent is so well tuned. It's such a good thumb stud knife. This for high-end knives is an incredible thumb stud knife. I mean, it is. It's even better than the flipper. Hey, Mom. My mama's in here saying hey to Breeze, but not to me. Not to me. Hey, Neves, really enjoy your content. Feel it's both wholesome and honest while also being truly informative to your own values. Thank you, Clifford. I appreciate that. And I'm glad you could acknowledge that. That's awesome, man. Or not acknowledge, but see that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't like the 3-inch XM18 when I saw that blade, but I am considering a Jurassic warning. Hopefully Rick has them in Atlanta. Yeah, I don't know. I liked the Jurassic. The Jurassic was really good. I hope Jared reads Clifford's message. Oh, he will now. Where's Clifford? Oh, I did. Yeah. Thank you, Clifford. But thank you very much, Clifford. I appreciate that. Oh, yeah, another one. Thanks for being truly honest and informative while also maintaining a wholesome vibe. I would watch this channel with my little nephew and enjoy it. That's awesome, man. Thank you, Clifford. That's amazing, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Honestly, death locks never bothered me, but the 3-inch I used to own ended up selling exactly. Really? Okay. Okay. Maybe it's worse than I thought because I don't really have an issue with it, but I will be honest, or I will say this, that because of death lock, not from this knife, but just of knives, of frame locks, I've really grown accustomed to just never putting pressure on the lock bar on a frame lock. I literally, it's like you give me a liner lock and I get it in my hand and I don't have no, I put the pressure wherever. As soon as I get a frame lock in hand, I automatically take this finger and I put a finger over this way, and right here, this finger, no pressure. That's the way I hold it. So maybe it's just me and I don't really get bothered by it. But I will say the first time when I had the bare knuckle, I was bad. Like it was so bad. I was skipping off of it and it was hurting me. Russ says, Clifford, the lives are not always wholesome. We get on some interesting subject. Yeah, I was going to say that I don't, I know how I was raised. So like when he said I'd have my nephew in here, I kind of thought about myself and how, the stuff I was raised around, like, and I think that that was a good thing, a lot of the things. So, but I do talk about some crazy stuff sometimes, and I got a potty mouth for sure. But, yeah, I can get, pretty crazy sometimes. And there's actually one subject we're going to talk about here in just a little bit that might not be too wholesome. Um, oh, I seen this thing. It was on Hard to Hurt. Hard to Hurt. Rockstead time. Where is she? Oh, right in front of me. She ain't never far. She ain't never far away.
Me?
Rocky. Stedman.
Stedman! Love you.
Love you. This Shirogorov Kami has pretty bad deathlock. I learned how to position my hand real quick. Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like when you really, like get used to it, to me, it's not a big deal. But I could see why people would have a big issue with it, and it being a bad thing. Flipper knives that are thin really can have that issue because you need a place to put your fingers. And if it happens to be the only place is on the lock bar and it's a flipper and it's thin, then yeah, it could be a horrible thing. But I mean, it's a knife show, but the quiz shows do have a wholesome vibe. There you go. Laugh out loud, hearing from her outside the moving blanket is kind of funny. I know. Um, the Shuro never bothered me. Not sure why my XM18 did so much. Yeah, I don't know why either. Because when I handed this to Andrew Toole, he got in his hand. He was like, "Wow, that thing's really good." But I bet you, same way, he's just accustomed to not putting the pressure with that one finger because it's only one finger. You can put pressure all over the damn thing. You just don't put pressure with your middle finger right there, and you're good. But it does suck though when you do it. You skip off it, especially on a sharp flipper. I didn't mean anything super concrete, Clifford says. Why is Cold Steel 8010, 110 on Amazon, but 190 everywhere else? Ain't got a clue. Get it from Amazon. Oh, it's probably because on Amazon there's no middleman. So, like, say a knife shop, they have to make their percent, otherwise they wouldn't sell knives. Now, usually they get them on a discount so that they can sell them for the same price as Amazon. But you'll notice that a lot of times, like that, like say Blade HQ will be $5 more than Amazon or something like that. Maybe not that damn much. So that's a big difference. I noticed that from like companies. Like if you go on Benchmade, you're going to pay more, way more for a Benchmade than you will on Blade HQ or Amazon or something like that. So it might be that type of thing. I appreciate that, Clifford. I do. I appreciate your compliment. Yeah, don't let us making a comment towards your comment. Let's, take away from it because I really appreciate it. I really do. Clifford says, I enjoy Cold Steel. I only own one, but I've owned a few. I need to own more. I don't even own one. I'm a fucking dickhead. I don't own one. I've had a lot of them on the channel. I'm not a massive backlock fan, but I still like them. It's not that I say I won't buy a backlock or I won't carry a backlock. I like backlocks. They're not my favorite lock, but I still like them. And that triad lock, I'd be liking that triad lock. But I do need to get more. Yeah. And people like them. So, not saying I want to get the knives that people like, but I'm saying it's good for the channel. So I should have some. Bree says, I told Mindy the other day she typed Neves 2020 as a coupon code for 20% off. She fell for it. That is a coupon code, though. That's a coupon code for Real Man Leather. It really is. You can get 20% off, but that's hilarious. A lot of companies have Amazon as a preferred vendor and allow them to sell it a little cheaper than other companies because of the volume they move. There you go. Mike Emler to the rescue. Don't you have an 8015, Jared? Yeah, but it's not Cold Steel. It's a custom. It's a Demco custom, but it's not cold steel. That's the thing is I don't have any cold steels, not one. But I've had a lot of them here and reviewed them. I got a bunch of reviews, but I just don't own any. I need to get some. Metal Complex sent me love? No, no. You know why he's sending me love? Because he knows he put the live at the time that he did just to spite me, just to fucking, just to hurt my live. That's why he did it. That's why he did it. Oh, Emler does know his shit. He does. He does. That's why I told you guys earlier. Definitely go sub to his channel. If you're not sub to his channel, don't admit it to anybody because you might be embarrassed. They might be embarrassed to know you. Do you like Striders? I do. I think some come with some issues. I think there's some that have horrible lock stick. But I've had a bunch of them on the channel and I've liked them all. I think they're solid knives. I think they're well built knives. Um, I think just some of the problem is their titanium. Like somebody else has said, their lock bar is not what's that called? I can't even think of the name of it. Where it doesn't get lock stick and stuff. Damn it, I can't even think of the name of it. Where they take the lock face and carbonize. The lock faces aren't carbonized. Now I've tried the customs that were amazing. Like I'm amazing customs. No stick, no nothing. The build quality, fit and finish was insane. The grinds were insane. Just an incredible knife. But then some of the production knives, I've liked them. Thank you, Lindy Lou. Um, yeah, but there's some of the production knives are not carbonized. Their lock faces aren't carbonized, and it makes it to where they get really bad lock stick. Like I don't mind lock stick. Lock stick is fine to me as long as it's not like crazy. But I've seen those to where I literally got to get a tool to unlock the tool of a knife. Like that's a little crazy. And I mean, to the point where every time you open it, you're turning it and trying to, and when you do unlock it, it's like pop, it pops out of place. That's too much. I've seen it a few times on them, but I still like them. I'd like to see them deal with that issue, and I'd like to see them do more knives, man. Do more knives. That's what I would like to see. I'd like to see them do more shit because I like them so much that I want to see more from them. I do also comprehend stick does get worse as well sometimes. Yeah. It, if it's carbonized and you get a little bit, it'll get better usually. Sometimes it does get better too if the geometry is right. I've had stick on a lot of knives that goes away, and I got stick on some knives that'll never go away, and I like it because it's just a small bit of stick. Like it's not enough stick to where it puts any pressure, like or puts any more pressure to unlock it, but just enough stick to make just a little noise. I like that type of stick. That tells me that it's not going to fail on me under pressure. Yeah, we offer carbonizing. If anyone in the chat has some lock stick issues, Lindy Lou's gotcha. Definitely check out Knife Modders on Instagram because, yeah, they do all kinds of amazing work, not just carbonizing lock faces, which I didn't know they did. So that's awesome to know. But they also do a lot of other stuff. Amazing, amazing work. Have you tried Real Man leather belts? Not their belts, no. But I'm interested now. I have not. Oh wait, Tri-State. I like a little stick too. Little sticky. Thank you, Tri-State. Watching MC on mute just in case I win. Oh, you'll see it come up. I'm wondering, like, are you gonna hear it? Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Um, I'm surprised there's so many people in here right now because I honestly thought it was just going to be me and a couple people, and everybody was going to be sitting over there, and I was going to come over here on this iPad and talk shit to everybody. I'm just joking. How many people want to send? Wait, how many people want to send you their buoys, Lindy? Why does it? Why would you? I don't understand. Why does it have lock stick? Like mine has that little stick that I like. It's literally like it does no more harder to push if it didn't, but I hear it. Um, Like it's so little. I love it. I love that amount. Like literally, I'll let the mic hear it. It's so minute. I love it. It's the perfect amount of sticking it. It always stays consistent. I like that too. If it changed, I would be upset. You know why? Because it wouldn't feel the way it feels. It feels perfect. And I like it. Now, if it went away, I would be like, something's wrong with my knife because it's the great amount of stick. I mean, it's just so. It basically what it feels like is that it's locked up in there, nice and solid. That's what it feels like. It's literally just tight, not like to where it's like gritty. It's just tight. I like that. Laugh out loud, no, Jared. To have it. Oh, what the fuck am I thinking? What a dumbass. Um, to have it refinished so it has mirror, stonewash, and tumble titanium scales with no yeah, I wonder that too. I bet you a lot of people are gonna be. Oh, speaking of people not showing up in the lives, I probably won't be here for May 15th. Going to be in Pennsylvania with college studies, drinking and playing cards. It was like, awesome, man. Enjoy yourself. Hey, Black Nail Knives, your videos are so real, honest, and you even cut yourself on camera. Big time. And continue the video. Awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, we don't let it slow us down. And yeah, anything for them views, even though it wasn't planned. It's not like I want to cut myself, but thank you, man. I like the soft stick of the Bowie. It's rock freaking solid. Yes. And I bet you a lot of people are going to be sending their knives to Lindy Lou and Richie B to get modded. If not yet, they will. I bet you everybody who's got them is probably hanging on to it saying, I can always do it. Right. But sooner or later, I think some are going to call her up or get a hold of them and say, hey, how much for that damn stone washed polish? Because the finish is amazing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the belt fit satin finish, but the old finish, that polished stonewash, is beautiful. It's the same finish that's on the Techno 2. Lavender says, I'm sending mine. Sending mine. Are you gonna get anything else done to it beside what are you gonna get done to it? The ano and are you just gonna get it stripped? Are you gonna get something else done? Because man, they do so much work there. Later, Mike. Thanks for coming through, bud. Definitely go sub to his channel. I agree. Yeah, that's the way I look at it too, Lindy Lou. She said just a tiny bit of stick is nice, but when it takes two hands to unlock, it's a no. Yeah, I agree. I think if it even takes like it doesn't even have to take two hands. If you gotta like that, then put some lead on it, put some marker on it, see if it'll break in. Yeah, I think you shouldn't have to put much more pressure than it should take without the stick. But hearing that or feeling the cushion of it sliding off is nice. Um, Lavender Pants says he might go with the bark finish on the scales or a polished stone wash like the Wingman EDC Mach 3 scales or the Mayo titanium scales. That bark finish is so nice. So nice. It adds the perfect amount of grip to the knife. And it looks so cool. It just looks so badass. I love that. Mike Morgan says the drunken. I've never tried a drunken. I've been drunk, but I've never tried the drunken, the spider coat drunken. But I have been drunken though. What's up, Jared? New to your channel and EDC knife collecting hobby, digging your content. Man, welcome, man. Thank you for coming in. Will, and everybody welcomes you. Everybody say, hey, what's up to Will? Thank you for joining, man. For the best way without carbonizing is to Sharpie that bitch. Yep, that's what I do. Then a thin layer of graphite. That's exactly what I do. I put permanent marker on it. I blow on it, and then I'll usually put one more layer of permanent marker, blow on it. Then I take lead, graphite, and I put it on the surface. I can get lock stick to stay away for a month or two. Sometimes right away it'll get it off, and then I just got to do it a couple times. But after doing it a few times, it goes away. But yeah, works every time. Every time. Oil usually can cause it. If you oil your knife and then you get it all of a sudden, dry that bitch off. You put too much oil on it, the oil's on the lock face and it's creating the lock stick. Zach, what's up, bud? Moderating for LFD in a few. We'll jump back soon. Thank you, bud. I appreciate that. Bees Blades, man. You guys are awesome. What are you guys doing? Thank you. You're not alone. First time I've listened to two channels at once. I never miss Saturdays with you, man. Thank you, man. That's awesome. Thank you so much, man. And thank you, Zach. You guys are amazing. And it's so awesome because I know MC, man, he gets so many people in his lives, um, which is incredible, man. I could only wish. So I know a lot of people go over there and he's doing a 50K giveaway, which I know is massive. It's amazing. So I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me. I honestly enjoy punishing myself by not using letter sharpening and trying to break it in, even if I got to use a pry bar. I've done that. I know exactly what you're talking about. You know why I started or why I did that? I was told if you use the Sharpie and the lead, the lock stick will never go away. It'll just keep coming back. But if you deal with it and you just keep doing it and using it, it'll go away. Bullshit. Bullshit. I've literally dealt with it and it's only gotten worse. But then I've sharpied it, markered it, and when that wears off, it's less than before. And literally over time, it slowly breaks in rather than damaging the lock face because the titanium is soft. So you keep on creating that stick, it winds up getting so stuck that you literally got to take a pry bar and pop it. Fuck that. Just use some lead, some marker, get rid of it, and let it break in slowly over time. I thoroughly believe you got to kind of push through the advice you get sometimes and find what's true through experience and repetition. Yep, and that's the story of my damn life, right there. Story of my life. Oh man, learn from experience, not from the advice you got. Oh, yeah, exactly. Sometimes it even goes away completely. Yeah, absolutely. My Quest Custom, it's gone. Sometimes when I re-oil it, it'll come back, and I do the marker and the lead trick, and it goes away again. So, and I'll look at it and I can tell the shit's gone. It just seems like over time it slowly breaks in again. But like I said, if I use oil on it though, or too much and it gets on the lock face, that is like one of the leading causes of lock stick. Sometimes people will get lock stick and don't even realize it really doesn't have lock stick. You just got oil in there. And the oil has made the lock bar slip farther than it normally would. So dry it off. Try that first. Dry your lock face off first. Talica's first hinder was really bad at first. See, I haven't tried a hinder that didn't have a lock bar insert. Oh no, I do have one with I'm an idiot. I have one without a lock bar insert, and it's so good. The lock face is so good. Like it's crazy because it doesn't have a lock bar insert. It's probably the smoothest frame lock I have. There's no resistance at all, but I've never felt stick on a hinder. I took apart my Emerson and had it hella oiled and cleaned it out. Now it's smooth. Right. That's a lot of times the leading cause is the oil. And sometimes you don't realize it because you don't think there's oil on the lock face, but it's on there and you just can't tell. So you take one of the knife wipes. This is what I do, and I shove it down in here like this, just like that, and I just rub it back and forth and get the lock face really good. I'll lock it up a few times and then do that again. I'll do that like 5 or 6 times. And then I have done it where while it's closed, I'll try to take it and shove a little corner right in there inside the crack right there. I've done that, but usually I just do the lock face over and over. Okay, so I was watching Hard to Hurt. He's got a channel, basically a self-defense channel. They kickbox, do boxing, do a little bit of sparring and shit like that. Anyways, he got these there was like they got them from Amazon or something. Some guy made them, but it was this self-defense thing that goes on your shoe. And then there was a ring. It was a self-defense ring. I don't have my ring right here, but the ring just looks like a ring right here, but it sits in your palm. And it's like it's kind of like it's kind of hard to explain, but it's just kind of like a bullet. Okay. It's just like a hollow point bullet, except for the edges of the hollow point are sharp. So it'll cut you or stab you. It's not like sharp like a point. It's like sharp and rounded at the tip, and then the tip is kind of jagged. And so like if you slap somebody or grab them like this, it's gonna hurt if it's on a bone, and if you slap them, it's gonna cut them. If somebody's trying to punch you and you slap their hands, it's called parrying. For boxing, it's called parrying. You parry. What it means is like if I'm trying to hit you, you slap my punches down. So in that case, you can cut somebody's knuckles up, parrying them. Then on the shoe, it goes underneath the strings. So if you go to kick somebody with your shoe, do I have my flip flops here? So like it'd be like on the laces right here. And there were three of the same thing that goes in your hand, three of those, but they're very hard. They look like gel. So you can't really see them that good. So people walking around with them, and they had different colors. But so they didn't think it would work really good. And they tested them out. And surprisingly, it kind of worked, but I still don't think they would work very good because one, you'd have to walk around with that damn ring in your hand, right? Who the fuck wants to do that? And then the shoe thing, not too many people kick in a fight unless if you know how to kick in a fight. Like if somebody who kicks the kicking a boxing bag or whatever every day, they might kick in a fight, and when they kick you, it's gonna fucking hurt because they kick every day. But normal people, when they kick, they don't know how to kick. They don't know where to kick, how to kick. The kick is literally the worst thing they could do because it literally always gets them in a pile of crap every time. I think it's hilarious when I see a street fight and I see somebody kick because they'll usually do a push kick, just where you go straight forward with your leg. They'll usually do like a push kick or like just like a snap forward, but it never does anything but gets them knocked down. And I always think about like, dude, you haven't kicked anything in 15 years and your thought was to kick? Like, what are you doing? Like, why would you kick? Now, if somebody's on the ground and you're kicking somebody while they're down, that's a little different because that's like a football kick. But going like, fighting somebody and kicking somebody without knowing how to kick is always hilarious to me. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen people that know how to fucking kick somebody, and it usually takes them off their fucking feet pretty quick, whether it's in the leg or whatever. Because I watched this one dude. He trained MMA and stuff, so he knew how to kick. And these three dudes tried to jump him, and dude ran up to him, and he went to like mess with him. And he had a cigarette in his mouth and everything. He ran to him and was trying to fight him. Dude kicked him one time in the leg. Bow! That motherfucker went straight down. Like it was almost like it broke his leg or something. But you could tell the one dude that kicked him, he kicks things every day. His shins are as strong as fucking 2x4s. Thought it was hilarious. It would cause more damage with that ring, but how much of that would you actually notice while you're trying to punch somebody out? You first notice is suddenly your knuckles are bleeding. Yeah, that's another thing is that your adrenaline's pumping. Most things that hurt you in a fight don't. Like they just don't. Like you can get hit by things, cut. You won't even realize you're cut. Um, I'm not saying there aren't things that can't knock you out. Obviously, you get knocked out, you're knocked out. But in like a fight where you're like, fighting for your life and your adrenaline's raised real high, that ring would cut you 5 times on the face before you know it. But the sight of blood does do something to you. And I will say this, that ring would definitely grab some DNA. They said that a few times in it. Like if you grab somebody or smack somebody, that little tip on the thing is grabbing skin. It's definitely taking some skin with it. So you can look at it like a DNA grabber. But the one, if you're wearing certain shoes, it would definitely hurt your foot. And in your hand, you're not going to be able to punch now because going like this is going to hurt you. So you have to slap. And I'm not saying slapping isn't good in a fight. I've seen people get knocked out by getting slapped, but I don't know. I wouldn't. Who the fuck walks around with shit like that? Like it's kind of like walking around with brass knuckles every day, just on your hand. Which brass knuckles hurt like a motherfucker to hit something with. You hit something with brass knuckles on your hand, it hurts. It does not feel good. I don't care what anybody says. Like it hurts bad. Now, in a life-threatening situation, you don't really care, right? You will deal with that. The other person is going to get hurt worse than you if you know how to use them. If you don't know how to use them, you're probably going to break your knuckles. Um, that's why I carry pocket sand. Gotcha. I'm not kicking anyone in the leg after watching Chris Weidman. Man, that that's devastating. And I've seen that a couple times. And he's talking about kicking somebody in the leg and your leg breaking because you kick somebody. That comes from overtraining. If you're kicking something every day, all day, your bones in your leg break down. Like in martial arts and stuff, they want you to hit the punching bag and kick like the kicking, kick the bags and stuff. And there's like in with a boxing bag, right? When it hangs from the ceiling, the sand settles down at the bottom. The bottom is the hardest part, and it's hard. It's really hard. So they teach you to kick higher than that at first. You kick the softer part for a long time. Then as your shin gets stronger and your bone breaks down because you're also trying to kill the nerve in your leg. So the bone will break down and every time it grows back stronger and stronger and stronger. But like with him or within like other people that break their leg from kicking somebody, it's because it's broke down and hasn't had a chance to repair yet because it's constantly breaking down from you kicking things. But going back to the boxing bag, after you've conditioned your leg enough to where your nerve is basically damaged and you don't have a lot of feeling and the bone has grown back so many times that it's really hard, you can start kicking the bottom of the bag, and the bottom of the bag is hard, so it hurts still, but not as much as it did in the beginning. Now that nerve, even when you kill it and the nerve is dead, it still hurts. Don't get me wrong, it still hurts. Anybody who even the most professional kickboxer will still tell you it hurts, but it hurts a lot less. So that's why they can kick the fucking a 2x4 and be just fine. That's why they can kick somebody in the leg and be just fine. But it does not feel good to kick somebody in the leg. Kick a 2x4. That's what it's like kicking somebody in the leg. Yeah, you kick with the shin, the front part, like kind of like a blade. You use it like a blade and you chop with it. You can use it depends on where you're kicking to. If you're kicking somebody in the leg, you use your shin. The bones actually crack on a micro level, right? And the nerve is damaged. Bone is replaced with a calcified callus over the bone tissue, hardening it. Yeah. And it keeps growing that, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Um, like even like with your knuckles, which is bad. Let me just say this: this is bad. Like back in the day, like a long time ago, like martial arts, they taught you to like really condition your hands, which you should. You should condition your shins, your hand, and stuff. But we know a lot more about what the damage does to you long term, so that's why you wrap your hands. You shouldn't hit a boxing bag without wrapped hands. You should wrap your hands every time. But like when I was in martial arts as a kid, they wanted us to hit shit and fuck your knuckles up because that's what they tell you, like you want your bones basically to be as hard as a brick or as hard as wood so that it doesn't hurt you. But over time, it does fuck you up. And like with my wrist was messed up for the longest time right here. And it was from hitting the punching bag without wraps. Now I will not even touch a punching bag without wrapping up or without the gloves on. Like I just won't do it because every time I do, I feel that thing in my hand, and I gotta save that just in case if I run into somebody in a dark alley. Do this multiple times, and you essentially start creating a hard plate over the bone tissue, right? But like with Weidman, however you pronounce it, when that keeps breaking down and doesn't have a chance to grow back, also nutrition and being healthy, that can that's when it breaks because it's so broken down. Um, okay, so what else was it? Rolling car having glass. Okay, so I seen this thing. It was an ad. I'm sure you guys seen it on Instagram. It's a guy showing a glass breaker around your wrist. It's on like a hair tie is what it looks like. And you know the sparker on a lighter? Oh, I do, but it's not that. Oh yeah, I do. You know this part of a lighter, the part you spin, it looks like one of those on a hair tie around your wrist, and you wear it around your wrist. And when it's like a rubber band, okay? So picture a rubber band with the thing you roll on a lighter on it, okay? So you carry it around your wrist, and if you rolled in a car, wound up in a lake or whatever, rolled a car, you're upside down, you need to get out and break the window, you can just take it off, go like this, and go bang right on the window, and it'll shatter the window, okay? Glass breaker. Anyways, so I seen the ad for that on Instagram. Pretty cool, right? So I started thinking because somebody was saying, I don't remember where, but somebody was talking about glass breakers on knives, which I agree. They're very uncomfortable. Every time they put a glass breaker on a knife, they're usually uncomfortable. Sometimes they're in a good place, but sometimes people say, when are you ever going to need to break the glass of a window, right? When are you ever going to need to do that? And it made me think of a time where I didn't, but I almost did. So this was during a time of when I was running from the law. Okay, so it was actually right before my sobriety, right before I got sober, right before everything. I I was trying to get sober, and I was down by my mother's, and I wound up taking a bunch of pills because I shouldn't even be talking like that. But anyways, I took a bunch of stuff like to like help myself because I was so sick. I was so fucked up. Well, then I wound up getting the bright idea while I was all messed up to go and do something bad. And I left and I'm doing like 90 on the highway. Kara's with me, and a semi in front of me locks up its brakes. It locks up its brakes, and I have the tires on this car weren't good. And to avoid the accident, I slid off the side of the road. I'm going fucking fast. So I slid sideways, wound up rolling the car like 9 times. Rolled it, got stuck upside down. So we're upside down. We're wearing seatbelts. Thank God. And I remember when we started sliding, I instantly grabbed Kara, but we were left upside down. Okay. And you can't open the doors. You can't do anything like that. And I'm trying to think how we got out. I think the windows were broke. I think that's how we got out, but they might not have been. And if they weren't broke already, I would have had to have broke the window to get out. Not saying people wouldn't have came or an ambulance or whatever, and we were fine. But let's say Kara wasn't fine, right? I would have had to have broke the window to pull her out. Vice versa. So dogfight story. So I got a couple of those. But yeah, so it made me think about it like having a glass breaker is not a bad idea. And if it's on your wrist, no matter where you're at, you do have it. It's really not that dumb. Because if you have one, say, on your pocket knife, the one dude the other day got into a car accident. It's an addiction, I think. He got into a car accident, rolled his car, the knife he had in his pocket, lost on the road somewhere, never found it, and it was I think it was a Todd bag. That sucks. But guess what he didn't lose? His Rockstead that was in the leather pouch on his hip was still nice and secure. Isn't that crazy? The knife came out of his pocket, but the Rocky stayed on his hip. Anyways, um, then the airbags go off, the explosives put off nitrous fumes, and the one time I crashed and they went off, I couldn't get out fast enough. It was damn near choking me. Damn. Damn. Let me read the beginning of that. Did I miss the beginning? I must have missed the beginning. But yeah, that's crazy, man. Um, but yeah, when we rolled though, we were stuck upside down, and you're kind of disoriented. You just had done rolling in, plus I'm all messed up. Then the cops come. All right, I got a warrant. I've already been running from the cops for weeks. I got a warrant out for me. I'm a fugitive. So I gotta lie to the cops now. I tried making up, or I tried using a name I knew would get me out, and it worked for a little bit. But they kept like looking like I don't know. They thought something weird, and they wound up trying to look me up on social media. And the person I was saying I was, they found, and they were like trying to like look at the face and look at me. It didn't work. So they wound up figuring out who I was. I think they found Kara's and then looked at hers, and we had a picture together or something like that. But anyways, didn't work out. I wound up going to jail, and that was like the real start of me, getting away from the shit, and like so I didn't sober up completely, but that was the start of me sobering up. That's when it was like enough's enough, like anyways. Um, ah, that's why I have almost zero social media except Instagram solely for knives. Yeah, I think at the time I didn't even use my social media either. I literally hadn't used it in like 2 years. It was a Facebook or something, but it got me busted. Got me busted. Now I don't care. But at the time, when I'm trying to be a fugitive, and anybody who's trying to be a fugitive is trying not to be caught. So, anyways, I thought that was kind of funny, but it made me think of the glass breaker. Like if I needed it in that situation, that would have been a damn good time to have one, especially attached to my wrist. Um, I wound up going to DuPage County Jail, or yeah, DuPage County, and that was a crazy fucking episode there in that damn place. Oh, and then they transported me from there to another one, and did they slap you with obstruction of justice for that? No, no, not when you have a warrant. They expect you to try to get away. They expect everything. I've never gotten in trouble for running from them. But let me be clear. I never got caught running from them. And when I did, I gave up. Like it's not like when you get caught, you start fighting. Like, not saying I didn't do that when I was real young, but since I've been of age, if they caught me running, I would just give up. Like, but they never caught me running from on foot. And then when you do stuff like that, if you have a warrant, they already expect that. I've gotten out of getting arrested for not like saying who I was and stuff like that. I've also been caught because they figured it out. Because sometimes they'll take like all the people that have warrants and they'll just go down the list. They'll make you sit there. Like if you don't tell them who you are, even if you don't have to. Like you don't have to by law tell them who you are if you're not driving or something. And like being a passenger, you don't have to. And like the one time I said that, and they're like, "All right," and they made me sit there for like an hour while they kept me, you know, what's it called? They just let me sit in the car and wait, and just wouldn't let me leave until they figured it out. But other times though, they were like, "All right, you don't have to tell me," and they just let me go because I didn't legally have to tell them who I was. I keep one of those rescue tools in my glove box that has an awful seatbelt cutter with a pointed hammer. Hopefully, I'll never have to. Yeah, that's the way I think about it. Hopefully, you never have to use it. But if you do, the one problem with that one is that it's in your car. So if you're in somebody else's car and that happens, you can't guarantee they have one. If you do get into an accident, say the glove box flies open and it, flies around somewhere. Now you can't find it. Like the wrist one, I just thought that's kind of a brilliant idea, but it's also like, that means you got to walk around with that damn thing on your wrist everywhere. And I do think having those ones in your glove box are very smart. I think that's really good because I think those are going to be most important if you pull up on the scene. Like, say, if you're driving and you see somebody go off a bridge or roll a car, you're there to help. And I think that's really important. Um, and, I think you could probably do it with a knife if you really had to, but you wouldn't want to. Hey, I got the knives you sharpened back today. They look awesome. Awesome. Awesome, bud. Glad you like them. Awesome. Um, yeah, I'm glad they came back safe and sound. Glove box opens, flies around, hits you in your own damn face. Yeah, exactly. He might have made it out of the car, but the glass breaker killed him on impact right through the eyeball. But if that wouldn't have happened, he could have got out with the tool. They showed that in MythBusters that the people that put the tissue box on their what's that called, the back window on that the thing on the back by the back window, in a car accident it can actually fly forward and kill you by hitting you in the back of the head. A box of tissues. Think about what another object could do. If a box of tissues could kill you in a head-on collision. Gonna have to get me one of those Eve Tech Shadow Rangers now. It was actually a really good time with him. We connected through a coin collection. I don't know what that's about. I used to have a badass coin collection back in the day. Someone said they want to talk about dog fights. Oh wait, hold on a second. This is just like completely off topic, but I do this every once in a while when I order a knife, and I'm curious if any of you guys ever did it, because if you don't, you're probably going to start now. So when you order a knife, say Blade HQ, Knife Center, GP Knives, any of the places, you notice like down at the bottom, it asks if you want to leave a message, like to them, like whatever. Hey, can you make sure it's a blue G10? Or I don't know. Can you check the lockup for me and make sure it's solid, please? Whatever you're going to write a message, right? A lot of people write messages. You know what I always write? I always write something sweet to them. Hey, you guys are awesome. Thanks for doing all the hard work you do. I leave messages like that because it makes me think they're going to take care of me real nice when they see that I acknowledge that they're hard working and I think they're awesome. I don't know. I thought of that. I do that every time when I buy a knife and it gives me a message box. I always write them a nice little sweet message. Um, I always say send me some stickers, and they never do. Blade HQ, I asked them one time if they would send me a drawing for Kara's birthday. So I ordered 2 knives. The one knife I ordered, well, I ordered one knife and I asked for it and they didn't do it. I was pissed. I was like, you motherfuckers. So then I wrote them back again. I said, hey, damn it. It's my wife's birthday. I need a damn drawing. They sent me a happy birthday on a box and then one of the birds, like the bird shot birds, you guys know what I'm talking about. They sent me one of those on the box. I thought it was awesome. We had it for a long time. I think I actually still have it. I do actually somewhere, but I do have it though. I thought that was cool. I don't write anything sweet, but I tell them what to look for defects. It usually works until the last time. I guess I'll try your way. Say something nice. Because I just feel like when they're reading and they see the message, it's going to make that person's day. You got a lot better chance they're going to get it out, get it mailed out to you. They're going to, you usually get farther with sugar than with vinegar. I just feel like that might work. So I'm just saying to you guys, my little trick, my little technique, maybe it might help you guys. They're probably sitting with their feet up on the desk while some low-paid overwork employee packs the box. I know, Breeze. damn it, you just destroyed the whole story. But he's probably right. But you like to think that it's not that way. You like to think because some of these places are small. Some of these places aren't very big. But yeah, the social media person is going to be different than the other person. But I like to think that the person packing it might get that. Like they probably just have a computer like this. They look up, okay, what are our orders today? Is there any messages, and then they go and get it, pack it. A lot of times it's like that because you guys have seen some of these knife shops. They're not big. It's just a warehouse and a couple offices. Blade HQ usually draws the package. Usually draws. Wait, where am I at? Draws on the package when I order and ask them to draw something. Yeah, they did when I asked them the second time, but the first time they didn't. They missed it. And I was upset because it was Kara's birthday and I was trying to get her something sweet. We had just really gotten involved in the knife community and I was getting her a nice knife from Blade HQ and we always watched them on the internet. So I thought it'd be cool, and they did it and she thought it was awesome. Got my slim midi heading to me soon. That's a good one. That's a good one. Ooh, that's a goodie right there. Oh, I love the slim midi here. Let's hear if we can get some sounds. Let's get some acoustics going, guys. Ooh. Man, sounds great, doesn't it? Such a good sound. Lefty. I love that sound, man. Gotta love that thing. I mean, it's such a good knife. Thumb set action is really good too. The detent is so well tuned. Very, very smooth. Sticky edge too. But yeah, that tone is from the pocket clip. It's limited though. I know. It's awesome. How do you get it so smooth? It's on bearings. The new ones are on bearings. I don't know if they also do them on phosphor bronze still too, but as far as I know, all the new ones coming from Medford, like if they recently came from Medford within the past month or two, they're on bearings. Now, I don't know if they also do them on phosphor bronze and on bearings, but if you want to get one on bearings, one, make sure it comes straight from Medford, or two, make sure it went to whatever knife place you're getting it from recently from Medford. But like I said, I don't know if they're also still doing them on phosphor bronze. But as far as I know, like the last person that I know called them up, they only had them on bearings. But that could have just been that moment. It sounds good, doesn't it? Sounds real good. It's that clip. And anytime you get a knife that has really good acoustics, a lot of times it's from the clip. It's like playing a guitar. And Medfords are really known for that. Any tips for dealing with a stuffy nose? I really need some advice or tips. Blow it. Blow it. Any tips for dealing with stuffy nose? I really need some advice or tips. Okay, you know what? I actually do got some. Now, you guys might think this is sick, but if it's really stuffy, don't think this is sick, okay? Get a paper towel and twist the corner into a long string, okay? Like almost like a pokey device. Stick that up your nose and play with the part right here, the nerve. Play with that nerve. It'll open you right up. You might have to play with it for a second until you can like sneeze. It might make you sneeze, but it'll open you up. That's one way, and it might come right back, but do it a couple times. It'll really let it open up. Another thing, you're all right here is glands around your eyes. So take and go like this. Break it up by tapping it. Tap just like this all the way around. Make sure you get right here, all the way up here. Tap, 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 tap. And then massage it. And go down and out your face like this. Do that like 4 or 5 times. It'll clear your sinuses up. Next thing, hot water. Get some hot water, put it under or your face over it, and really like just breathe normally, but let that steam kind of get up onto your glands. The heat can sometimes get right here. So if you use the heat first or like a hot washcloth and put it over the glands, then do what I just said. Work like a charm, brother. Work like a charm every time. Sticky edges, polished edges, fight me. Sticky edges over polished edges. I won't fight you over that. I love me a good sticky edge. Polished edge, though, can be very sticky. Just depends on the steel. So, depending, I'd argue, I wouldn't argue with you, but it just kind of depends. I like different steels, different finishes. Like that new 14C from Civivi, I like it with a polished edge every day of the week. It's so good. It's so sharp, especially with their grind. Not saying it wouldn't be good with a toothy finish, but damn it, does it do good with a polished. Holy cow, it does good with a polished. One of the sharpest knives I've ever gotten with a polished edge has been that 14C. Um, Polish is fun and nice though, and lasts longer. It can. It just depends on the steel because some steel, the teeth go away really quick. So if it does have a little bit of bite, you'll use it a couple times, and then the edge will be slick, and it's like you can just rub your. So you can just rub your fingers back and forth on it because it just loses all the bite. You shouldn't be able to do that with a knife. You shouldn't be able to go like that with a knife. It should cut you if you do that. The teeth should just automatically snag you and like kind of like this, like enter into you like that. It should snag you and go right in. If it's got bite. Now, I'm not saying they should all be like that because there's going to be polished edges that are nice and toothy, that have some bite that you could do that with if it's light, but you shouldn't be able to just put pressure and run your fingers across. If you do that, if you put pressure and run your fingers down and it ain't cutting into you at all, it's too polished. And it needs a little bit of a lower grit. And if you've used it too much and stropped it too much, because overstropping edge will do that. If you overstrop it or if it's buffed from the factory, it might look beautiful. It might be very sharp, but it'll lose all its bite. Man, this bag lighter is amazing. You guys see the new Sonoma from Giant Mouse? The new Sonoma V2. It's a liner lock. So the original Sonoma was a frame lock. The new one, and Giant Mouse is micarta. They might possibly have the best micarta. They have beautiful micarta. Their micarta is the exact kind of micarta I like. And anyways, so they have the new Sonoma V2 in beautiful micarta, and it's a liner lock. Same knife, so same grind and everything. The problem with me, because I almost want to get one, but I think I heard that they have a thick grind, like the geometry is not great on that knife for being a slim knife. I kind of am starting to like liner locks more now. Yeah, they're nice, especially if you have a problem with putting your fingers on the lock bar, then get a liner lock because you never have to worry about that. And a lot of times, man, this thing kicks so hard. I love this new bag letter, guys. I love it. Go shut off Kara's PS5 and tell her to come hang with us. Yeah. You're trying to get me fucking shot or stabbed. see how that works out. Thank you, Wallaby. Thank you, Wallaby, man. You guys, you're awesome, man. That is the Sonoma right there with the micarta. Beautiful micarta, liner lock. It's a beautiful knife. It's a great looking knife. I've never had one, but I think I have a memory of somebody saying that they have thick grinds. I'm not 100% about that though. I think. But I've never had one. So if any of you guys have had one, let me know because it's going to be the same as the titanium frame lock version, just with a liner lock. Haha. Did you know I was watching when you said that? Baglighter? I didn't. No, it's not Bagletter, guys. It's Baglighter. Any Rick and Morty fans in here? What time is it? I'll let you know if we'll still be here. You know what? I'm actually gonna cut this short, guys. I told Kara I'd cut it short right around 9. We're gonna go 2 more minutes. Dog fights. Somebody wanted to talk about dog fights. I seen that a little earlier. Hopefully it wasn't Spanky because he's walking out because I forget who said it. Bang. Was it Spanky? Actually, I think it might have been Spanky now I think about it. I don't know. Knife Whisperers in here. Definitely go check out Knife Whisperers channel. What's up, bud? So anyways, dog fights. I think that I got asked that before and I never talked about it. So let me just say right off the bat right now, I do not encourage dog fighting, dog anything. I love dogs. I love dogs to death. They're man's best friend. If you guys don't know, I went to school for training dogs. I've trained lots of dogs, and I have a passion for animals. I love animals, but I grew up around a lot of dog fighting. I've been bitten a bunch of times by dogs in multiple places. I've been bitten in the face, I've been bitten in the ass, I've been bitten in the arm, I've been bitten in the hand. And it's an addiction. We were talking about him a little while ago. Thank you, man. What a sticker. That's thank you, man. Thank you. You're awesome, man. Hey, Clifford. Thank you, man. The bag liter. The bag liter. Oh, thank you, man. You guys are awesome, man. Thank you so much. You guys are great. Have a good night, buddy. Always good times. Thank you, man. So quick dog fighting story. So this one's not necessarily about a dog fight, but it's a good story and it's about a dog fighter. So this dude went to school with, know him really well. He fought dogs, and he had this one dog that he was fighting, and it was a brindle pit bull, and it wasn't like a champion or anything yet. Like it was in a lot of training and stuff, which I do not support. Anyways, the dog was fucking mean though, like was really bad. Now, a good fighter is not supposed to be mean. That's what people they don't grasp that. They make their dogs mean, and that's not the way a good and I'm not saying I fucking stand by this shit. I'm just saying the real idea because in history, if you read history books on pit bulls and fighting dogs, those dogs had to be brought in the ring by somebody who did not own that dog. If that dog bit the motherfucker, he couldn't fight. So that's not how it went. They were aggressive towards other dogs and animals, not people. Yeah, story time. Yay. Thank you, Ian. So, this dog, I knew this dog. Well, I didn't. Okay, let me be clear. I knew the dog was fucking mean, like really bad. And anyway, but this dog didn't like anybody but his owner. And very dangerous dog. So I'm walking. It's like I don't know, midnight or something. Late, right? Late. And I'm walking and I see a little shovel about this big. It's just sitting on the ground. Call it God, call it whatever you want. I seen the shovel and something told me, pick it up, right? Something, I swear to God, this is a true story. Something said, pick it up. I grabbed it. The second I had it in my hand, fucking here he comes, that dog, and lunges at me. And as soon as I had it in my hand, I smacked him right in the face. Said, ping! He fucking comes right back at me again. Ping! I hit him again. And now he's like, he doesn't want to get hit again, right? And so he's like standing back, but he's like coming in and backing up. Then his fucking buddy, because there was actually a couple of them. Now the other dog wasn't mean, right? I knew the other dog wasn't mean, but he hung out with that dog. They were like brothers, but he was a different kind of dog. Wasn't a pit bull, just some mutt, but he was with them. So now that dog's up to me too. Well, I don't want that dog antagonizing the other dog, but I know that dog's not really that dangerous. So I just kind of swung it at him, like, get away from me. But the other dog, kept trying to come in, but I kept it like reared back, like ready to just axe his fucking head off if he came in. Because this is the type of dog that this dog, if he gets you and he gets you down, if he doesn't kill you, he's gonna mess you up really bad. So then here comes my buddy. that I know very well. I've known since we were kids. He comes running up and he's getting them, like they've gotten away from him or something. And oh man, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, man. And I'm thinking like, holy shit, thank God it was me. Thank God it wasn't not like a lady should be out walking her kid at midnight, but I was thinking that though, thank God it was me and not somebody else. Thank God I seen the shovel. That's crazy though, and I swear to God, when I seen the shovel, something told me to pick it up. Something just told me. Any other time I would just walk past it. It was a little, not a kid shovel, but if you ever worked on excavating, they have the little shovels because when you're down in the ground, you're inside of a hole that's the width of a bucket 4 foot wide or whatever. So when you're down in that hole, you might need a little shovel because a big shovel won't fit. It was one of those. And yeah, crazy as shit though. Um, Animals are stronger than most people understand. Fast too, really fast. I always think it's funny when people try to say that, like when they see those people on TV, they get knocked down by a German Shepherd. They're like, "Oh man, he would knock me down." I was like, "Oh yeah, so an 80-pound sandbag coming at you at 30 miles an hour wouldn't knock you down? Go fuck yourself." Like I'm not saying if you chomped on your arm and you swung, you wouldn't be able to still stand up, but if the dog hits you full blast running at 30 miles an hour, he's knocking you down. He's an 80-pound sandbag going 30 miles an hour. Come on. Um, and when you've done like the fight training and bite training with the dog, you realize how powerful they are. They're very powerful. Now, there's ways to not get knocked down if you know how to do it, if you know how to prepare for it, if you know how to swing the dog, if you know how to. There is ways. There's lots of ways. Just like there's ways to get to avoid getting bit by a dog charging at you like that. But you got to know how. At the time I was younger, I hadn't been to dog training school or any of that stuff. It's dogs that like that give pit bulls a bad rep. What an asshole. Yes, 1,000,000%. I don't think, well, I know. Okay. So pit bulls are some of the most amazing dogs ever. Some of the smartest dogs I've ever trained were pit bulls. Some of the sweetest dogs I've ever trained or met, owned were pit bulls. The most meanest dogs were always not pit bulls. Now, I'm not saying they can't be aggressive if taught right, but it's never the dog, it's the people. Just like anything, right? Your kids, you guys know what I'm saying. It's the people that give it a bad reputation by raising a dog in an abusive manner. And now you have a dog that's devoted to making you happy. And if him being mean is what makes you happy, even if your intentions are good. If he thinks that him being mean is making you happy, that dog will be as mean as you fucking could ever believe because it makes you happy. Now in other countries, the pit bull's called the nanny dog because they're so good with kids. Because they are, and the reason why is because their hide is so strong and so tough. Kids can pinch them and play with them and tug on them and mess with them, and it doesn't bother them. They love it. They don't care because they're tough. They are. Their skin is tough. So they can handle abuse, and I don't mean like abuse like kicking a dog. I mean like a child, picking and prodding at them. But that same dog, if you raise him to be aggressive towards animals and you train him to be aggressive towards people, they're gonna be, and they're gonna do it damn good because they want to make their owners happy. They are one of the breeds of dogs that are so worried about what you're thinking about them that and it's not even, I hate to go that deep about it, but they really do want to make their owner happy. They really do. And most dogs do. And when a dog is doing something bad, 99% of the time, they do not know it's bad. A lot of people, and I know you guys are going to disagree with me on this, but I promise you this is the way it goes. Normally, you're literally telling that dog to do something bad, whether it's going into your garbage, chewing up your shoes, pissing on the floor. You just don't realize it because you don't speak dog. And if you understood that by treating them the way you are, whatever, you're literally saying in dog words to do that stuff. You don't realize it, but you are. There's ways to stop a dog from doing things. And if you spoke to that dog the way he speaks, the dog would stop it like that. It's just he thinks he's doing what he's supposed to do by getting in the garbage, running across the table, pulling, chewing on this, doing that. He thinks he's supposed to do that stuff. It's kind of like this. I like to put it this way. Dog barks at a mailman, right? Mailman comes by every single day at noon. I'm just giving a time. Mailman comes up, dog barks, mailman walks away. What just happened? To the dog, the mailman would have fucking wrecked house if it wasn't for him being there. The fact that he walked away after he barked, the dog did his job. That's what the dog's thinking. The dog sees it as that's a threat. And every day at 12 o'clock, he tries to come in. And every day I protect this house. And he walks away because I'm here. If I wasn't here, he'd get in. And to you, all you hear is a barking dog. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Quit barking. Now you're just adding to it. So now you and the dog are both screaming at the fucking mailman together. And then that's what the dog thinks. Now, if you could keep that dog quiet to see that mailman come and go a few times without him barking, he would acknowledge that he's not scaring him off. The guy wasn't going to come in the first place. But he's got to see that by being quiet. There's different ways to do that, and I'm not going to sit here and teach you guys how to do that, but there's ways to make that dog stay quiet in a positive way. Everything you teach a dog should be in a positive way. They should want to learn. You never, ever, ever teach a dog with punishment because you want him to want to repeat it. He won't want to repeat anything you do if he's getting punished for not learning, right? It's kind of like if I'm trying to teach you how to throw a ball, and every time you can't throw it, I smack you. You're not going to pick the fucking ball up no more, right? So you got to encourage them to do good, and encourage them to keep it going and keep trying. And you keep trying, I keep giving you treats, right? So there's so many ways to train a dog in a positive way. They learn so fast. The last dog I trained was a black lab. That dog knew nothing. Me walking into the house. Within the first week, that dog knew 10 commands at least, if not more. Very good. And within 2 weeks, that dog knew how to do, I think it was within the first week. I mean, he was even rolling over, doing all kinds of walking forward, backwards, sideways. I had him doing all kinds of stuff. But that's a dog that knew nothing. And me walking in and talking to him the way he's supposed to be talked to, learned 10 to 15 commands within a week. I was jogging, had a German Shepherd start chasing me. I tried to outrun him, not smart. As I tired out, I turned around and punched him in the nose. He whimpered off. I've been attacked by a German Shepherd a couple times, but you ain't getting away from a dog. Dogs will outrun you every day of the week. Hey, Clifford, thank you, man. Have a good night, brother. Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for... Thought my bell broke for a second. Thank you, man. All right, guys. I got about to get out of here. Lavender Pants, I appreciate you coming back. You left me for MC, didn't you? You left me for MC. I know you did. All right, guys. I love you guys. Thank you guys for... Yeah, was it a police... For me, no, I mean, I've been chased by police dogs, yeah, but the one I was thinking of was actually this dog that did get a hold of me in an alley. He didn't bite me, but he almost did. I'll tell that story next time. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Maybe I'll tell a story about running from police dogs. Peace.